Have you ever wondered why a child has not been diagnosed with autism or ADHD? Maybe you've noticed a child presenting traits of autism, and you wonder why the child's parents have not taken him for a formal diagnosis. Maybe you work in a school or you work with children. Well, keep watching and I will list some of the reasons why parents are reluctant to seek a formal diagnosis. Good morning. So this is Magna here. So on this channel, I first of all share about my faith through my music, my teachings, and also I'm a mother with a child with autism. So I will be sharing and discussing topics that are relevant to parents with children with special needs. And so, yes, there are reasons why parents are reluctant and to seek a formal diagnosis for their child. The first reason is lack of information. You see, parents have reported that they have no information at all about getting a diagnosis or even about autism or ADHD. Yet some parts of the world, parents have seen their children acting differently, but they're not aware. School also was not aware, or school is not aware that there are traits of autism. They need their child diagnosed. They need it. You might say it's a shocker. Yes, it is, but some parts of the world, lack of information is a reason why parents have not sought a formal diagnosis. Secondly, it's misinformation. So parents have reported that they've been told autism is a result of bad parenting, and so if they start chastising the child, disciplining the child will be cured or the child will be free from autism. The third reason is denial. So some parents are just in denial. They have observed this trace in your child, but you're in denial. They're in denial. It means that they don't want to accept it, that their child might have autism, and so this is a reason why they will not take their child for a formal diagnosis. The fourth reason is fear, obviously, of labeling, and this is a very common reason. So parents were already knowledgeable about autism. They probably seen other children, they probably work with children, and they see how the children are labeled. They know as much as the children are supported when they have a formal diagnosis. They also know the children are labeled. In the community, people label them. Oh, this is an autistic child, just stay away from them. Or I'm organizing a party for my child. Don't bring your child, and I don't want him to come and play up. So they see how the children are always disadvantaged, labeled, stigmatized. And so these parents will choose not to get a formal diagnosis. The fifth reason is some parents actually go for the formal diagnosis. They go ahead, but once the child has been diagnosed, they choose not to share, not even with school. They choose to keep it to themselves. Are they allowed to do this? Yes, they are within their right. I'm not aware of any laws within this country where parents must share the information with a school or with friends that your child has been diagnosed. But I could be wrong. So if you're aware, please put that in the comments. I would like to learn for myself. So parents will go ahead with diagnosis, however, they choose not to share with anyone. The sixth reason is cost. In some parts of the world, it's extremely expensive to get a formal diagnosis. And in fact, it's even extremely impossible to find somebody to diagnose your child. You don't know where to go. You don't know what the process is. And so this is a reason why some parents will not have their child diagnosed. The other reason, which I might have mentioned, is stigma. But particularly research reports that within the black community, the minority community, people of color like myself, we are quite reluctant to seek a formal diagnosis. And the reasons are obvious. Fear, stigma, autism is associated with bad parenting. You don't discipline your child enough. Beat the autism out of him. If you beat the autism out of him, he'll be all right. And all these statements. So we know how people are. So we will not take them. We will not go for a formal diagnosis. Otherwise, everybody know our child is autistic. The last reason, and it's the last on my list. Remember, there is more, but I'm only limited to this. Is faith or religion. Okay, and so people believe that they can continue to perform certain rites and rituals within their religion, and their child will be healed of autism or ADHD. Some believe they can pray. By the way, as you know, I share about my faith. I can openly say I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I believe in healing. And so because of that, I will post a separate video on healing and autism. I think it's important you know my view, my opinion about that. But yes, healing. Faith is the reason why people choose not to have their child diagnosed at all. They believe they can continue to pray, and then God, or whoever their God is, will remove the autism out of the child. Have you had any experience? Have you seen any trace in any child, or have you got any questions at all? Just put it in the comment below. Do you have any other reasons? Remember, I said this list is not the full list, and you can get more information on the Autism and Society website. And so if you have any questions, I will encourage you to put it in the comments below. I'm going to give my experience now. So my child was diagnosed before he turned 3. Nursery approached me sensitively, and it's important, if you work with children and you notice anything, approach the person sensitively, because it's a very sensitive issue. Some parents can get really upset for you even considering that your child may have traits of autism. No way. And so they approached me sensitively, bless them, and they said they thought my child might, have autism. Have I considered an autistic assessment? At the time, that was 9 years ago, I had very little knowledge about autism or ADHD. I was in my knowledge was very vague. I had very little knowledge. So, but I wasn't very reluctant. So yes, I signed up for it, and there was 5 of us. So I'll tell you about the process. There were 5 families, 5 parents. So the assessment was completed over a period of 6 weeks, 5 or 6, I can't remember. So we took our child to the center, and our children were kept in a separate room, and we waited in a waiting room. Yes, so in that room there was a psychologist, there was a speech and language therapist, there was a child's pediatrician, and I think there was the teaching assistant or the nursery assistant of our children. So there's 4 of them. I don't remember if there was a neurologist there. I can't really remember. It was 9 years ago. And so, but before our children were observed, and they had already collated information from us, so background about children, his medical history. I've been questions like, we noticed our children, do they smile back when they were babies? Do they smile back at child? Do they wave? Any concerns about speech? How do our children interact with other children? All these necessary questions. And the observation was over a period of 6 weeks. So after the observation, what they did was to speak to parents individually. So the outcome will be that yes, your child has autism or ADHD, or your child has a speech delay, or your child is too young for a diagnosis. So we'll review in a year or 2 years when your child is a little more older, or your child has no autism or ADHD. So when they give you the decision, you have the right, you're within your right to request for a second opinion. However, you need to go back to your GP for your GP to make the referral, and currently the waiting list is between 6 months to over 2 years. Your parents are waiting for 2.5 years for a diagnosis. If you cannot wait, then you can go private. Obviously it's going to cost you more. And so this is what that was my child's experience. After the diagnosis, obviously I was dumbfounded. I was shocked. I thought my child will be diagnosed with speech delay but not autism. So after that, we were supported we enrolled on a 6-week course called Early Birds, where we learned a lot about autism. It was also a safe place for us to share our fears, our worries, and to tear up. We did tear up because it was new to us. We didn't know what was going to happen. And then after that, after the 6-week course, we were just left to face the world, which was at the time 9 years ago, not accepting as it probably is today of our child, and we had to learn every day. It was new. I think in the early stage I was in denial. As a person of faith, I was praying that my child would be healed. And so, but I'm going to tell you more about my faith and healing of my child, and whether my child was healed or not, because I did say one of the reasons parents pray and parents perform other rituals for their child to be healed, but I will leave it for the next video. So I'll see you in the next video, and then we will share more about that. But thank you for taking time to listen. Please remember to share if this is insightful or it'll be helpful to somebody, to a family. Please do share, subscribe, comment, because this helps me to post more video. So enjoy the rest of your morning, and this is Magna here. All right then, thank you.